Okay, so this is a training on reach outs and how to reach out to people from different types of social like posts and things that are not even related to your business, but more so just like how to get into conversation with people from them simply liking your post or commenting on your post, whether it be Plexus related or not. So the first thing to make note of is the different types of social engagement, right? There are six main types of social engagement that we can kind of rank based upon their value. And you can see here, kind of in this order, is going to be the most beneficial for your business or for growing your business or finding new potentials, right? So somebody directly messaging you from your post, right, is always going to be the number one, like greatest type of social engagement that there is. And then, sorry, I'm going to try and make it through this. Then there's going to be a comment on a business or product related post is going to be the second one. A love or a like on a Plexus post, whether it's business or product related. Then a friend request or a follow, a comment on a non-Plexus post, or a love or a like on a non-Plexus post. So those are our different types of social engagement. And here is how we will go through. I have a slide for each one of them, right? So a direct message from one of your posts is by far the easiest when it comes to having a conversation with somebody, because they are coming to you because they found value in something that you shared, right? The best thing that you can do in this situation is to ask them why. Ask them why they are reaching out rather than just them saying, like, I saw your post, I love that. Like, do you have something, can you tell me more about your gut health stuff? Or do you have something for weight loss? Or rather than being like, oh yeah, I have this, here's the product I would recommend, this is the bundle that's on sale right now. Like, ask them why, because you're going to take control of the conversation and you want to get them talking more about themselves so that they're almost like they've talked themselves into it and you don't really have to do a lot of the work because you continue to ask good questions, right? So there's a list of different questions here. I asked a gentleman today, like, what's keeping you from feeling your best? He told me he wants to lose 80 to 100 pounds. Now, I'm not going to say, like, yeah, start taking Slim and Balance and you're going to lose 80 to 100 pounds on your first month. Like, that's not realistic. But continuing the conversation, I'm asking him, well, what else? Like, what is it that's keeping you from feeling your best? Is it your weight? Is it something else going on? Like, what is it, right? And he had responded to one of my stories. So he like slid a little slider bar in my stories. So I messaged him kind of and basically asked him, like, can I ask you what on this graphic made you interested? And we've been chatting from there. So these are some pretty good questions that you can ask to kind of keep that conversation going before we just jump right in and try to make a sale. So if somebody comments on a Plexus post, right, whether it is a business post or product post, and I see a spelling error, but that's okay. So there's two types of comments that you might get on a Plexus post, and that could be a comment specifically showing interest or a general comment responding to your post, right? So as you can see, the best practice, and this is for boosting the algorithm, helping your posts get seen by more people. The more comments that a post has on Facebook, it's going to push that into more feeds. Like if you notice, you might have a post put up from a few days ago, but it's still continuing to get comments and generate engagement. It's because more people are logging on Facebook and it's pushed up at the top of their feed. So they're still seeing your old post a few days later because it's been pushed up into their feed. So you want to make sure you respond back to your comments, right? Because, and then you're going to DM them, right? So if it is a comment that's showing interest, you can say something like, hey, thanks so much for your comment on my post. I'd love to share some info with you. Do you mind me asking what has you interested? You've ended with a question. You're not just, shooting them the information right away in the DMs. You're trying to figure out why they want this. And then another example could be, hey, thanks so much for your support on my post. I was so excited to see that you're interested in what I've been doing. What specifically have you been struggling with in this area? I really like that one, right? Because that is kind of like, what are you struggling with? Like, what's going on? And then if it's just a general comment, you could say something like, Marissa, I always love seeing your name in my notifications. Thanks so much for this support on my Plexus post. Was there something specific that resonated with you? I'm always looking for feedback. So I think that is a great way to message somebody. And the whole goal too is like you're continuing to start the conversations. Like you can then move on with Marissa and start talking about life and like, well, what did you guys do over the summer? Or do you guys have plans for Christmas, right? Like you can just continue the conversation, being a normal person, continuing, and eventually, you might be able to find a pain point, especially if there's something that she resonates with. It might be just that first few touches that she needs that you're able to do because you reached out to her comment, right? Okay, so a like or a love on a Plexus post. I gotta move this out of my way. I can't see. So they said in this training that I watched to start with messaging any loves on the post before you message people who simply like it, because someone that takes an additional few seconds to love a post is a better qualified lead. So you could reach out to somebody who loved your post, right? And you could say something like, Kristen, thanks so much for your support on my post. Extra special thanks for taking the time to love the post. Most people won't even take the extra few seconds to do that. So I appreciate you. What specifically stood out to you that you loved? It would be great for me to know. I really love this approach because you're not like, can I send you a sample? Do you want to try this? You're really kind of like asking for their feedback, and the fact that you are messaging them and basically letting them know that you see them, they're seen, right? They're going to feel seen, and that you value their opinion, right? So like this example, Corey, you're one of 4 people that actually loved my recent post. So thank you for taking the time to do that. I'm curious, was there anything specific that made you click the love button? I'm always open to feedback and I really value your opinion. So easy, right? And then who knows what they're going to come back and say. They may just have been like trying to support you, which is totally fine too, because you can then transition that conversation and keep moving it along. You know what I mean? So somebody who just liked your post, you could say, hey girl, it was really great seeing you like my post. Things like that go a long way in giving me confidence to share on social. Was there anything specific that you related to? Right? Like super simple. Like, again, thanks so much for helping me out. I appreciate it, right? You could also say something like, thanks for taking the time to support my post. When I get likes on a post, it's really helpful for me to understand what people find valuable. What did you find the most helpful? Or what did you find the most interesting? Or what was it that stood out to you, right? And then the last example would be, thanks for supporting me by taking the time to like my post. Is what I shared about something you've struggled with or have any experience with? Another way to ask good questions. As you can see, these all end in a question, right? And helping making that person feel seen and valued and important. So moving on to a friend request or a follow. Sorry, I have to keep moving the little thing because the words are on the opposite side of the screen. Oh, there goes. Okay. So you want to assume, right, that if somebody wants to connect with you on social media, it's because they found something that you did or shared interesting or valuable. So you kind of want to keep that in mind, like as you're reaching out to people, right? So one main thing to know is to take a look at their page, see if there is anything that you have in common that you can maybe mention when you reach out. I do this a lot when I get a follow on Instagram and I can tell that they're another special needs parent, right? Like that is, I don't want to say it's an easy in, but it is an easy way for me to connect with somebody and relate to them, right? So something you could say, which I have actually seen Brittany share one of these, which I will get to, but you could say something along the lines of like, hey Morgan, I just wanted to reach out and say hello. I'm always looking to connect with more mama friends on social. How did you come across my page? right? Like you could even throw in there, like, I love using the explore page. Like, was I on your explore page? Or just trying to find a way to see maybe how they even found you. You could also say something like, hey, Tessa, thanks for the follow. Just curious, how did you happen to come across my profile? Was it from one of my posts, right? Was it from one of my posts? Was it from the explore page, right? Was it from my stories? However you want to do it. But those are great ways to kind of reach out to people. And in your conversation, right, they're going to reply back. You could say something like, a lot of the content I create is helping people in the area of weight loss, is helping people in the area of gut health, is helping people in the area of being overwhelmed and anxious, right? Or helping people struggle with anxiety, right? Or helping people struggle with their gut health or with their hormones. Is that an area that you're looking for help in, right? Hey, can you just fill that up for me? Thanks so much. I'm dying here. Sorry. You could also say, most of the people that connect with me are looking for help or advice in the area of hormones, in the area of gut health, in the area of supplementation, in the area of weight loss, in the area of whatever you want yourself to be defined as, right? For helping people. Is that one of the reasons you decided to connect with me? It might not be. They may just like the stuff that you share, or they may have thought something was super funny, but they're going to reply back. You know what I mean? Like, that's a totally normal type of conversation to have with somebody. And you're not trying to sell them on anything. You're literally just continuing the conversation and letting them know, like, hey, this is what I help people with. And then they're going to start thinking of you when they're looking for those types of things. Thank you. Okay. So comment on a non-plexus post. These are really great. And I have actually been utilizing these since I have taken this training, and I have been in far more conversations because I have been messaging the people who are commenting on all of my posts, especially when we did the posting challenge, posting multiple times a day. I have notifications from different posts from different people, different times of day. Like, I don't want to be like, none of my posts died out, but like a lot of my posts were still getting engagement because different people were seeing them at different days and different times. So I was really pumped to do that because it worked out really well. I felt like a lot more eyes were on my stuff. So this is where the real opportunity lies, because most people usually get better engagement on non-plexus posts, right? So you want to make sure that you've got a strategy for getting into meaningful conversations with the people that are commenting on our posts, right? I will say, for instance, the guy that I'm in a conversation with tonight, where I was able to ask him, like, what keeps you from feeling your best? That I've gotten to the point of, he's in our resource page now, and I've sent him the Candida overgrowth chart. He initially commented on a post about food box subscriptions. When I made a post asking if people used food box subscriptions, he made a post about it, or he commented on it. And he was one of the people that I was like, he was like, if you want coupons or something. And I was like, hey, do you have coupons? Like, did you like it? Why did you stop using it? Right. So I started already asking questions, and then we've gone into multiple conversations, and now he's interacting with my stories and seeing my stuff, and we're moving right along into that conversation. Right. So it's going to be the same kind of strategy for if you're getting a comment on your plexus related post, where you want to reply back to that comment and then send them a message, right? So the first part of your message should be referencing them commenting on that post. And this is how you can open the conversation, right? You could say something like, and this is very me. I made the slides, so they're very much stuff that I would say and how I would type, right? I like to use a lot of I's, and I happen to use Jen in this one, right? So you could say, hi, Jen, it was great seeing you pop up on my post today. Thanks for taking the time to leave a comment. How have you been? Right? Or you could say, like, what's new? Or depending on what that post was, when I did the food subscription box, you can say, like, did you have a lot of recipes that you really liked? Did you feel like your family liked the recipes that you were using? You could frame it a little bit around whatever your post was, but it's a very easy way to get into that conversation, right? So there's a framework that you can follow that is called acknowledge, compliment, and then ask them a question. So step 1 is the acknowledge. Step 2 is the compliment. And step 3 is the ask, right? So hang on, sorry. Oh, it cut off my last question, but that's okay. I can still see it. So you can look at their page, obviously, and you're going to find something, if you can, that you're going to reference in your initial message, right? So after you've reached out and saying, it's great to see your name pop up today. Thanks for taking the time. How have y'all been? They're going to reply back and say something. And you could go through the conversation of, I see that you just got back from vacation. You look absolutely incredible. What are you doing nowadays health-wise to look so good? Right. So you can kind of see like I saw the selfie that you posted the other day. You look 10 years younger than the last time that I saw you. What products are you loving for your skin? Or like, what's your skincare routine right now? Right. Like something like that. We can say like, I saw pictures of the kids. I can't believe how big they are. You seriously deserve an award for all that you do. How do you find the energy to keep up with them or the time to do it all? Right. So acknowledging something on their page that you see them doing, right? Giving them a compliment about it, and then asking a question about it is going to just keep that conversation going, right? It's not initially to be like, let's go sell them a Plexus thing right now. It's more so like, I need to continue in conversation so that they can know me, like me, trust me. And eventually, like, I'm going to find their pain point, or the next post that I make, maybe next month, they're going to resonate with them and they're going to see it because we're in conversation and they're going to already have the know, like, and trust factor. Almost done. So like or love on a non-Plexus post is the same advice on this as the Plexus related post. You want to prioritize the engagement by messaging the people who loved your post first and then the likes second, right? So if it's someone who messaged you could, or who loved your post, you could message them something like, Christina, it's great seeing you pop up on my post today. You're one of 4 that actually loved my post. So thanks so much for doing that. Like, how have you been? Right? Or Anna, can I just say thanks so much for your support on my posts? I love when I see people like you pop up on my posts because it's a reminder to me to make sure I check in. How are things with you? That is so simple to me and so normal and so something that like I would say. So I have done that one to people. I really like that. And most people are like, I'm doing great. It's great to hear from you. Like, how are you guys doing? Or your kids are so like, it's just a good way to start more conversations. Somebody who just liked the post, you can say, Sam, I was so excited to see your name pop up on the people who liked my post today. It's been way too long. How are things with you? Yeah, just getting into the conversations, right? Hey, Carly, thank you for taking the time to like my post today. I'm always fascinated by the things I share on social that people find interesting. I realize that we're connected here, but we've never had a chance to actually say hello to one another. So consider this my hello. How are you? So that could be something that you never really connected with the person on Facebook, or Instagram maybe, but they're liking a few of your things, right? So once you've opened up that conversation and they have responded, you can start to move through that whole framework of acknowledging something, complimenting something, and asking them something to just continue on in your conversation. And that is it. So let me stop recording. Maybe.